A hurricane should be updated to cancel at 10:30 o'clock, 10:30. Find out where this hurricane's coming in at.
I got a feeling I know. Right. All right, this is the Liberty County Fisheries Court regular meeting, August 25th, 2020. It's now 10 o'clock straight up. We're just an hour behind, but it's okay. We still have business to do. We have a quorum established.
We don't have food, do we?
Oh, I'm gonna come back to it.
We haven't come back yet. We still have a quorum established, so you can join us here shortly. First thing, let's pledges, and Glenn, if you would lead us in the pledges this morning, please.
Sure.
We'll have the invocation.
American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great state of Texas. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
As y'all know, you've been watching the news, you know what we're up against, okay? And once again, we don't know where it's going. So, but we have a lot of folks here that can help us. One that can definitely help us get through this. All we have to do is ask. For the folks that are evacuating, let's help them all we can. The folks that are going to stay here, help them all we can. For the folks that don't know what they're going to do, if they reach out for help, let's help them all we can. If y'all would, we try to do this at least once a year, but let's pray the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father,
Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
thank y'all. Notices and proclamations. Stevie, I don't think we have any notices and proclamations today, do we? Unless we want to proclaim that almost all of our constables here this morning. Y'all stand up so everybody knows who y'all are. We've got precinct 6, precinct 3, we've got precinct 5, and precinct 4. And precinct 1. All right. Thank y'all for coming, fellas. Have any public comment today? Evidently, we've had plenty of public comment today. Let's move on. Consent agenda. Y'all have the opportunity to look over the consent agenda.
Just have a request, number 8, an approval to pay $6,463 to Charles out of our corporate fund, which is called the Special Investigative Fund. Well, it says fund, but it should be funds with the for the best, for the probation department, bailiffs, and for the dare officer. But I'd like to ask that amount be increased by $35. That's the best one they were ordered, not all of them had, were equipped with a Velcro where you can put a patch on it, that says police or whatever that is appropriate for those particular positions. I'm going to increase that by $35.
What would that total be, please?
That would be $6,498.60. instead of $6,463.
Thank you.
What was it?
6,498.
35 additional.
$35 extra, Leon.
From the same place, it's still out of that same fund.
It'll be out of the same fund, okay?
Wayne, you have anything to add?
Yes, I have some invoices to add. There's one invoice, there's one payables on the list for Shoppa's Farm Supply for $6,175.33. We're going to change the vendor to Deere and Company for that one for $6,175.33. And I have some invoices. They're all going to Cowboy Asphalt for Road and Bridge 3. There's one invoice for $77,435. Another invoice to Cowboy Asphalt from Road and Bridge 3 for $139,153. Another one for $104,838. And another one for $92,637. And that's all I have.
With the additions, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Got a motion from Bruce, second Greg to approve the consent agenda with the additions so noted. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Regular agenda. One. Consider and approve second amendment. Well, we've been considering second amendment on a lot of things. Consider and approve second amendment to contract for services with Tyler Technologies related to increased cost as a result of delaying the deployment from October to December for Odyssey and Encode public safety.
Yes, of course, I hate asking for more money, especially, this is a substantial amount of money, 92 or 93,000.
Yeah.
$92,320. And I'd like to be able to say it's all coronavirus that has delayed all this, but that's not entirely true. It's really, we've had some substantial issues, not to dump on the jail, but with getting the jail folks to help us out on this. Well, and please, I don't want to go too out in the weeds here, but I want you to understand what's going on. We're doing a number of data reviews where we look at our current data and start putting it under the new categories in the new system. And you have to have a person from that department who knows those processes to be able to tell you, yeah, that line, in this database is the same as the one from over here. And the jail's just, they've been swamped. They have not been able to do it, have not done it so far. So we have made a number of workarounds. I would like to thank Lee and Logan for allowing, pledging Belinda and Kim, who are really doing heroic work to do a lot of this work for the jail. But nevertheless, it's taken more time for Tyler as well, and we have to have additional data reviews to do this. So we're having to delay our go live date, which was supposed to be 5 weeks out from now to now, early December. But the trade-off here, so it's 92,000, yes, but at least if we do that, and we will be more assured that the data we're getting over here will be good data. We do not want to be in a situation where we're not able to verify warrants, we're not able to verify holds, and the people are either released or jailed improperly. And that's what we're working very diligently to avoid. So I would ask, I've talked to Dwayne about this. It's been at least 3 weeks, I think, since I spoke to him, but I know he has an idea where to pull it from. Although I cannot remember where that was, Dwayne.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion from Bruce, second from Greg. To approve, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Everybody's watching these emergency alerts.
Yeah. It's probably telling us it's,
Hurricane's coming.
Laura's headed toward Trinity Bay.
It went from a watch to a warning.
Okay.
There's another one.
All right. Number 7.2, consider and approve the annual donation in the amount of $3,500 to the Lower Trinity Soil and Water Conservation District number 435. And this is just our usual contribution, annual contribution. I appreciate your consideration.
Second.
Motion Greg, second from Bruce. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 3, consider to approve the annual donation to Interfaith Ministries in the amount of $500. This is a state match grant for home delivered meal program to seniors age 60 and over in Liberty County. So there is hope for me and you both. Motion from Greg.
Second.
Second from Leon. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays.
Still don't have a boo.
That motion carries. We're still rolling. Number 4, 7.4, consider and approve amending Liberty County Employee Handbook Article 1.045. It's on page 8 to read law enforcement officers and correctional officers employed by the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. As you know, we're taking over the jail, or the sheriff's taking over the jail, so.
Yes, sir, and this applies in the handbook to saying that the correctional officers will also be working the 171 hours. Just adding and correctional officers to be law enforcement and correctional officers, 171.
Curiosity, Warden, is that 171 going to be correct considering the, you're going to run 3 shifts or 2 shifts?
Or
We have 4, yeah. It'll be 2 shifts, but 4 cars.
Okay, 4 cards. Right.
Yes, they're on 12-hour shifts.
Matthew,
that's what we got.
Yes.
Matthew,
Yeah.
can we legally do this because these jailers are not commissioned peace officers? So,
Yes, but they're T-Cole commissioner.
okay,
They have T-Cole, yes, sir.
okay. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion from Leon, second from Bruce. To approve, all in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Don't run away yet, Sheriff.
Yes, sir, I brought my pillow out here.
Okay. 5 is consider and approve amending Liberty County Employee Handbook Article 15.01. It's on page 24 to read, law enforcement officers and correctional officers are covered from the date of injury.
Yes, sir, and this applies to the workers' comp coverage. It's just adding the correctional officers to be the same as law enforcement.
Kim, you got anything on that one? Well,
Yeah,
She's there, but
she just texted me and said she does want to talk on some of those, but she thinks y'all have her muted.
no,
Yeah, I went over these with Ms. Roberts.
yes, yes, sir.
Tell her, we think she might be getting herself.
I don't know if she's, see, everybody else is showing up, hers isn't showing up at all.
She doesn't have her microphone or speakers hooked up or whatever.
Hang on, I might can do it here.
Oh, she's done.
No, I think she fell off. Well, no, there she is. I don't know what she's, seen that before, Matt?
No, I haven't. Try it,
Try to
because
measure
there's
with-
nothing else up there. Yeah, she's connecting now.
Okay.
I can try to hit merge now. I don't know what that means.
I think it's put everybody on a conference call or something.
Yeah, hit cancel.
Uh,
It says connecting. Let me see if I can get her on the phone and see what's going on.
Let's take a recess for about 5 minutes, y'all.
That's all right.
Maybe 3 minutes.
Yes, that lets me know all the roads. Even the red gel. You tell my daughter, says, no, you know, you can't drink that. And so I'm like.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you. Got it? All right, we got you.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay.
And we took a little break, just a second.
Good.
We had cake.
Yeah, good.
You hear it, Skinner?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good.
Yeah, but it has it's filled out properly. Every i's dotted.
You know what, I'm gonna try.
Can't probably Oh. Yeah, no, I'm just like, what do you do? Because there's so many rules.
That's the one.
I think that we were getting to get some of that storm. I think we can avoid it, folks. It's scary, but. Yeah, no, I had to cut the chair.
Okay. We're back in session. Okay, Kim, you with us?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure can. That's number 5 on the action items.
Right. And so what Bobby is requesting is just to include the correctional officers who will be coming on board with the jail to be included with law enforcement officers on the workers' compensation. So, yes, I agree that this should be done and that correctional officers should be added to the handbook in this section.
Move to approve. Got a motion from Greg. Second. Second from Bruce. To approve, all in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 6, Consider include waiving the waiting period for group medical and group life coverage for the jail administrator, starts. Third effective hiring August 11, 2020.
Yes, sir, it's that one, and then the next one is just, sometimes when you merge or take over another company, the waiting period is waived, that's up to you guys, whether you wish to do it or not.
Kim, what's the,
Judge Chuck Robinson is on the Zoom call, and he can address number 6 and number 7 and number 8 for us with regard to what the insurance company has to say. So Chuck, I'll let you step in if it's okay with the judge.
hello, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
All right. Are you in Beaumont?
No, I'm out in Katy, on the west side of Houston, East San Antonio.
You're in a good place. Okay.
Yeah. We're doing homeschooling in the other part of the house. But no, hey, I appreciate you guys letting me dial in. Regarding item number 6, 7, and 8, which is essentially requesting waiver of the waiting period for one employee, and then also for all of the jail employees when they start on October 1st. There's a couple different pieces that we're essentially requesting exceptions to. One is the cafeteria plan rules, which are set forth by the IRS and allows Liberty County to take out the payroll deductions on a pre-tax basis. And making exceptions to the cafeteria plan rules puts in jeopardy the pre-tax status. Essentially, it makes it to where it's not a cafeteria plan, and then any participants who are having pre-tax deductions out of the cafeteria plan, through the cafeteria plan, would be taxable under the IRS rules. But if we were to go and make the assumption that you approve an exception to the cafeteria plan to waive the waiting period, which is essentially 2 months after their date of hire, we would also have to go to Blue Cross Blue Shield and request either an exception from them, or we could make a change to where the waiting period is changed for all participants, but I do not believe that is what we're interested in doing today. Let me stop there and make sure, you see if there's any questions, and then I can elaborate as needed.
I didn't understand if there was
Kim, do you have further clarification?
Right. Well, based on what Chuck has said with regard to jeopardizing the pre-tax status and the potential problems that we would have with the underwriters, I'm going to say that this is number 6, number 7, and number 8 are going to be really big hurdles for the county to jump over in order to make this happen. I can't really think that jeopardizing the pre-tax status of our cafeteria plan is a good idea. And I also think that risking the situation that we have with Blue Cross and our stop loss coverage in order to accommodate a waiver of the waiting period is also very risky business. So I'm going to have to say that I think these 3 things are just above and beyond what the risk involved in these 3 things is going to be above and beyond what we really should take on.
Wayne?
I agree with Kim. Our insurance, our health insurance policy, coverage for our employees is very, very expensive. We all have to wait 6 months to get on it. I know I've hired people in my office, very qualified individuals with college degrees, and they've had to wait 60 days to get on the health insurance policy. And, and I know them guys, they're effectively they'd lose their job with GEO, then they're getting employed by the county, and they're going to get a great benefit package. But know, a policy's a policy for a reason, and I think everybody just needs to wait 60 days, other than the fact if somehow we did start this coverage immediately, it would cost the county upwards of $250,000 to cover these individuals budget-wise for those 2 months.
Judge, I agree. Ms. Harris and I had talked, and it was not a decision we could make. It's something that you and the Commissioners Court would have to do.
Yes.
But I got to count, there were actually, out of all the employees, there were only 26 that had the group insurance. And not that I don't want to do it, I was just going to throw this out, it cost the county $36,343.80 a month
Yeah.
for those employees, because not all of them are insured there.
Yeah, the only problem I have with it, Sheriff, is jeopardizing the current plan we have in place.
I agree. It's something that we need y'all to make the decisions.
Especially the stopgap. So that's one of those scary moments where you think about the domino effect.
We just needed something to tell the employees.
Yes, sir. Matthew, we can go ahead and vote on all 3 of these. If I'm not mistaken.
It's probably best on it.
All right. Okay, number 6, consider approve waiving the waiting period for group health insurance, group life coverage for jail administrator work cards.
Make a motion to deny.
Bruce. Greg. Okay, this in order to deny, all in favor say aye.
Who seconded that, Craig?
Hear me?
Craig. Why is Craig not sitting next to me?
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know what happened, but somehow something cut out. What was the motion that was made?
motion by Bruce was to deny the coverage on number 6 and seconded by Greg. And we're just called for a vote. So I got 2 voting aye, waiting on somebody else to either vote aye or nay.
I vote for the motion made.
All right, that's all in favor say aye. Then there's 3 ayes. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 7. Consider and approve waiving the waiting period for the group and group life coverage for Liberty County jail employees. Coverage will be effective 10/1/2020. Current policy reads benefits begin on the first day of the calendar month, following 2 full months for continuous employment. Sheriff?
Again, I just ask that you deny the first one, you deny this one too.
Make a motion to deny.
Second. Motion for Bruce, second for Greg to deny. All in favor say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Number 8, then approve allowing medical insurance deductible carryover for Liberty County Sheriff's Office jail employees if allowed by Liberty County group medical insurance carrier. And
Yes.
once again,
That was based on if we took over and everything, so you could, I guess, take no action on this, Matthew?
Yes, you can take no action.
Motion to take no action.
motion, Greg, for Bruce take no action. Second for Greg. All in favor say aye. Likewise, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Sit down again, Sheriff, we've got plenty more to go.
Yes, sir.
Consider number 9.
Have a good one.
Consider and approve not allowing jail employees to carry over their accrued vacation holiday comp time in Liberty County.
That's pretty self-explanatory. If they're working somewhere, they start with us, their longevity begins the day they go to work.
What is the court's pleasure? Kim, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
You, number 9 is where we're at right now. Do you have any, correction?
Well, I would just, on the same premise as number 6, 7, and 8, I think the special treatment for these employees would not be fair to all of the other employees who have started at square one on vacation, holiday, and comp time. So I'm with Bobby. I would say not to allow the carryover. One thing, I mean, GEO will probably be paying all of that time off, so they'll be compensated for it on on the GEO side before they come to work here.
All right,
I would
it's
assume.
court's pleasure.
Move to deny.
Huh?
Item on the agenda is not aligned, so I move to approve it, not aligned.
I'll withdraw.
Motion made and seconded by Bruce to approve not allowed.
Approved, not allowed.
Yes, sir.
And I jumped the item of longevity pay, I was on the team.
All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion goes carried. Thank you, Joe. Number 10, consider and approve clarifying that the October 1st, 2020 start date for the GEO employees now working for the Liberty County Sheriff's Office will be the date they will start qualifying for longevity pay. No credit for year with GEO or other jail facilities.
That's the longevity pay. Again, I think they ought to start the day that they begin with the Liberty County.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve that.
Second.
Motion from Greg, second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Judge,
Likewise, nay. Hey,
Judge, this probably goes without saying, but in the event that there are current employees in the county, whether they be working for Bobby or for a constable or some other office, and they move over to the jail department, so to speak, I would say that in that case, then number 9 and number 10 would not, that wouldn't apply to them. They would go ahead and carry over just as a move from one department to the next.
lateral move. Okay.
And we said it was a
I
GEO.
Yeah, so just strictly the GEO employees, not a transfer for any other employees into that department.
Would that need to be further clarified, Matthew, in our handbook? Or is that-
No, I don't think so. That's why I was just trying to remember, Kim, did we add an amendment to the handbook to discuss those situations? Because I can think of at least one employee that had a lateral move that, and we, made sure to accommodate that.
Right.
I just can't remember if we
I
actually.
mean,
amended the handbook.
it's taken care of in the handbook whenever there's a lateral move for an employee from one department to the other. It's just the wording of number 10 concerns me a little bit because it says consider and approve clarifying that the 10/1/2020 start date for the GEO employees now working for the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. So it's just a little bit confusing. So I just want to clarify the fact that it's only the people who are working for GEO and coming into Liberty County employment who, will have to start from square one.
That's a fair point.
That's just what's there. I meant the GEO employees that come over will be starting to work for Liberty County. My bad on the wording.
Well, we don't ask. Yes, sir. Okay. Number 11, consider and approve Liberty County Sheriff's Office jail employees be waived face-to-face orientation. Review the Liberty County employee handbook before they are hired. Employees will sign a waiver indicating that they have received and read the manual prior to their hire date, October 1st, 2020. Face-to-face orientation with all employees will occur after October 1st, 2020.
Judge, we're not getting any help from GEO and they're not going to let their employees come to employee meetings for Liberty County to do the 3 or 4 hour orientation.
Yes.
So we're going to hand it. We got the applications, we got the drug tests done, we'll hand out the handbook, and after October 1st, Ms. Harris's office, Debbie will come over and have employee meetings on our time, not on GEO's time.
Any more problems with GEO, please let me know.
Have you got the list yet of what you fixed assets?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We'll have a chat with you at the standards.
All right.
Make a motion to approve.
Matthew,
Yes.
you good with this?
Yeah, I believe so, so long as Kim is comfortable. I mean, there are aspects, it's a pain to go through the orientations as much as I enjoy spending time with but I know to comb through all those details, et cetera, but I would be concerned that there would be some detail in the employee manual that they're gonna say they didn't know, and.
He got shot down on it.
You're not muted.
They go through it, and as you know, Ms. Harris is very thorough, Debbie's very thorough in going over. The waiver, the signature card says that they read and understand it, and they just sign it, and date it before the date.
Yeah.
We will have the meetings after, but Gio's not gonna let them off do.
Oh, no, I get that, yeah. They will have the meetings, within a certain number of weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm fine with that, I'm fine.
I feel it's, good during this, event of COVID also.
No, that's fair, Yeah.
All right, so I got a motion from Bruce, need a second.
That's there.
Second from Greg. Move on, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Number 12, consider approving a memorandum of understanding between Liberty County Sheriff's Office and the city of Webster to purchase 3 used Chevrolet Tahoe full lease vehicles for $7,500 each. Some deal.
I'll let Sergeant Oglet handle this for me, and he's not here today, so he says they're good. We just asked that this be approved so we can get those 3,000.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion Bruce, second Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Nays. That motion does carry.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Sheriff. Number 13, consider and approve the resolution authorizing county grant program for Cleveland senior citizens, an organization that provides home delivered meals to homebound persons. The county in amount of $10,000. We do this every year. Consideration.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion Bruce, second Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Number 14, consider and approve proposed resolution and associated tax abatement evaluation criteria. David, are you still there?
Good morning, Judge. How is everybody?
All right.
Judge, we're going to need to table this item because we're required to hold a public meeting prior to the commissioners considering the item.
We had one this morning.
Excuse me?
We had a public hearing this morning.
Oh, did you? Okay, I must have missed it. In that case, we have got a tax abatement document that the council or the commission should consider. Right now, our existing program has lapsed and we're required to renew that document. It's been advertised in the Vindicator for 2 consecutive issues, and it's been available for inspection at the permit department for well over 30 days. So that qualifies the criteria, and it's now up to the commissioners to vote to either adopt or reject it.
Douglas, what is your recommendation?
Excuse me, Commissioner? My recommendation to the commissioners is that we adopt this. Otherwise, you're not going to have a tool to be able to evaluate future tax abatement requests.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you. Number 15, consider to approve final plat for the Santa Fe Section 8 subdivision. LJA Engineering has completed its review of construction and drainage plans and recommended court approval. David?
Judge, this is kind of an SOP. Section 8 has been thoroughly reviewed by LJA. They have approved it, the construction documents on it. This satisfies our normal policy And so I'm going to recommend to you that we go ahead today and approve the final plat for Santa Fe Section 8. And Commissioner Karbowski and Commissioner Arthur, there are Mylars in D.D. Taylor's office. So after the meeting today, if we approve this, you will need to sign those documents.
In other words, don't run off.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays.
I'm gonna run off. I'm done.
Motion carries. Number 16, consider and approve proposed amendment to subdivision regulations and FEMA flood control resolution to include Atlas 14 requirements, and that Atlas 14 be incorporated into the county's floodplain management resolution. David, you want to run that by us right now?
Gentlemen, that Atlas 14 is a new tool that's come out. It's been out for about 10 months now. Most of your engineering firms, FEMA, those types of people have adopted it already. Basically, what it does is it increases future forecasts for rainfall. So it takes the 500-year flood and actually moves that forward to a new 100-year flood. And that's the best explanation I can give you on it. We do need to adopt this if we're going to get in step with all the other agencies that we work with on this item. LJA has urged us to adopt this and place it in our subdivision reviews.
Did LGA made any kind of comment on it?
Excuse me, Mr. Arthur?
Did LGA made any comment on this?
They have made a comment, and they have Manuel Mendoza. He does all of our reviews, and he has made the recommendation that we adopt Atlas 14 and incorporate it into our documents for the county.
What's the court's pleasure?
The recommendation from our engineering and the department, and the permit department, I move with approve.
Second.
Motion from Greg, second from Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank y'all. Number 17, we've already covered number 17, so that was in the earlier meeting that started a little bit late, but we still got covered. Is that correct, Matthew?
The number 18.
Oh, and number 18, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
I got an asterisk in the line wrong.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
17, consider approving an amendment to the culvert and driveway resolution to allow individuals who desire to install their own driveway culverts. This all be good.
Judge,
Yes.
this comes about, we had one precinct that desired to allow individuals to put their own culverts in. And so we're making that arrangement for them here. We're adapting to what that precinct is doing. And so we're going to recommend you go ahead and approve this for us. These installations will continue to be permitted. They'll continue to be inspected. They'll be required to have the new bedding and backfill requirements. So this is simply an addition that is trying to respond to private individuals desiring to put their own culverts in.
I feel like this is, we might as well say that our citizens have the right to build their own roads as long as it fell underneath the inspection, although the normal citizen does not build a road. I don't agree with this.
Well, this, I thought we, citizens already could build a strong driveway in and live and that specification or hire their own contractor.
Yeah, we ran into a situation where we have folks, and it's actually over in precinct 4, where there was some desire for people to be allowed to install their own culverts. And so we felt like we needed to get that into the regulations, into the guidelines to make it uniform throughout the entire county.
Are our permanent personnel, are they knowledgeable on the correct way to put one in, compaction, what needs to be done as far as the level of the
Yes, sir, they are.
to other culverts?
Yes, sir, they are.
Leon, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I've run into a situation here where we have a family, indigent, that doesn't have the money to hire a contractor to come out and put the culvert in. They do have the means to do it by their own machinery. It's simple mathematics. The culverts will be sized by our inspectors. They will they will set the culverts to the desired recommendation by our inspectors. Once the culvert is set, the inspectors will come back out and verify that the job is done proper, and then they move forward. This is simple mathematics for the individuals that cannot afford to be able to hire contractors to put culverts in. And I make the motion that we approve this.
Motion beyond approved. Wait a second. Second from Greg. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays.
Nay.
Got, still got a quorum. Because Boo's not here.
Oh, okay.
Just want to make sure y'all understand that.
No, I didn't know that he was.
Check the logos right now, it's okay. That motion does carry, make note that Commissioner Karbowski and a nay. Now we're on number 18. Consider approved petition for creation of ESD, which we've already talked about this earlier. Which of course we denied the petition to approve with a vote. So that will actually be taken on this item. Number 19, tax assessor collector Richard Brown. Richard, are you not here? Yeah. Okay, consider
Hey, Judge.
payment due. Oh, is that you down there, Rick?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm on my old cell phone, but I'm ready to present a review of this and some action. So if y'all bear with me, I have a few notes here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Just for a little background, of course, the 381 development agreement between Colony Ridge and Liberty County basically involves up to $1.5 million of tax revenue being basically repaid back to Colony Ridge for the purpose of improvements for the county in the Plum Grove area. And actually, without getting into the details of that, the part that I've been asked to do is to come up with some kind of verification on how much money has actually been earned, and will be requesting that the commissioners approve paying this back to the entity. We did get a somewhat of an invoice. I think Matthew got it from Brent Lane, basically the attorney representing the 381 or County Ridge. Back August 3rd, they submitted an invoice for payments for the 2019. They're saying the payment was due by August 31st. So they basically gave us a detailed spreadsheet involving 20,148 tax accounts. They provided the 2018 and 2019 values. And they also commented that of the 20,148 accounts, 603 were delinquent, so they weren't including them. And they came up with a market value of $650,905,715 compared to the 18 value of $475,800, $461 for a difference of $175,105,254, which we'll identify as the captured value, which is the difference between what the base value in 18 was and what the growth was in 19. And what your agreement is based on the county tax rate of 19 of 0.5788, that came up to basically, according to their numbers, that the county owed them $1,013,509.21. They took away the $106,129 for the 603 delinquent accounts, saying that the county owes them $907,380.17. Based on the project spent to date, $323,726, 75% of the costs that the county needs to pay them $242,794.59, and then put the other $664,585.58 into their separate bank account. Okay, that's what they requested. Can I check in to make sure y'all still hearing me? I'm not just lip servicing here.
You say that's what they're saying, so you must have a different number.
Okay, so I'll continue. That's their proposal. What we have done at the tax office for the last probably 3 to 4 weeks, we have verified payments received for 2019. And again, they're saying there was 20,155 accounts in the 381. We obtained from Central Appraisal District way back when we first started on this, got a map, got all the accounts identified by the CAD, that there was 13,100 accounts. So I'm not sure that the 20,155 is accurate for 19. We also verified that of the 20,000 accounts, the difference of 7,055, we did not receive any taxes because they weren't billed for 19. So I think that's why we have this big difference in accounts. Now, it'll probably be the basis for next year, but again, we're just dealing with 19 payments right now. So I'm giving you the information on 13,100 counts that I have verified with CAD that are in this district, and that's the only thing I'm verifying. So as you can imagine, it's pretty painstaking to go in and look at 13,100 accounts, but we did. We broke them down, and we verified that we received in payments in 2019 a total of $3,196,191.27. When you estimate, according to the 381's value for 2018, that was $2,746,044, which we agree with that. That means that there's a difference in payments of $450,146. Okay, that's the increase over 2018. Now, we also took the 13,100 accounts, and if 100% of them paid, we should have increased 552,000. That's, that didn't happen, of course, but in my opinion, we have the 450,146 is a pretty good estimate. But if you use just the 13,000 accounts and you take the difference in the value, you end up with a captured value of $69,070,000, and at 5,788, that would be a $399,777.45 that we owe them. So in conclusion, with all the 17 inches of paperwork I have to prove it, I have narrowed it down that we owe them between $399,777.45 and $450,146.52. I have not looked at the 13,000 accounts in 2018, We simply did not have the time to run through all those. It took us long enough to verify the 2019 accounts. So my recommendation to you today is I feel comfortable that we owe them between $399, $777 conservatively, or at the top of the range, $450, $146.52. I can't narrow it down any closer than that without further investigation. And that's compared to their $907,000. But all they did, they didn't show who paid. They just said if everybody pays, all 21,000 accounts pay, that y'all should have collected $1,013,000. They didn't verify that anybody paid. We did all the verification on payment. They just submitted a bill saying if everybody paid, but we recognize that 600 accounts didn't pay. But we found that more than 7,000 of those accounts weren't even billed in 2019, so we can't use those this year. They'll be used next year's calculation. I'm open for any questions.
So what numbers should we look at? Go for the higher numbers so we won't be in arrears later on.
Amount recommended, not on rain.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Ricky.
Rick, you still there?
Hey, Ricky, you there?
Rick, you still there with us?
Yeah, it looked like his did what Kim just did earlier. He's going to come back.
Brother Rick, you back with us?
Judge, I'm back in the meeting. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Leon had for you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, what was your? Yeah, go ahead, Leon.
Okay, you're saying, you're throwing two different numbers out there at as far as your figures, correct?
It's a range, yes.
Okay, so what will you need to get an accurate accounting?
Well, to me,
More time?
you're going to eventually, yeah, more time. But again, I need some, this is just one-on-one looking at 10,000 accounts, 13,000 accounts. It's a lot of one-on-one that we've verified the 19s. The biggest thing I had in trying to verify with Central Appraisal District, that is it 13,100 accounts or is it 20,155 that we should be working on? That's a difference of 7,055 accounts. And I have not been able to, with their closing and opening, it's been hit and miss with them trying to get any information. So I've had to rely on the 13,100, and that's what we did all our verification on. Because I can clearly say we collected $3,196,191 on those 2019 accounts, and we can say that The 2,746,000 was the value from last year, you know, based on what we could have collected. And the 450, I think, is, you know, a fair number to go ahead and pay them back. The 399 was just a more conservative estimate. But it would take more time and more grinding out, looking at the numbers.
Matthew?
Well, I mean, I don't think we have any other choice than to try to give it the other party and communicate that our good faith need to look at this a little bit longer and try to have a firm recommendation from Commissioners Court at the earliest available opportunity, I guess in September.
Matthew, I don't know if Trey Harris is there, but I know at the last meeting I told him we were kind of running into some time frame. He said he had no problem giving us an extension on that. Again, that's not an official thing, but I know his indication a couple of weeks ago was he didn't have a problem, giving us some more time to calculate. I just needed to come up with something today.
Matthew, would we Matthew? Can you hear me, Matthew?
Yes.
Would we be within our boundaries to take no action on this today and allow Mr. Brown to do a little more thorough number counting?
Yes. And Trey is here and it's just indicated he's just fine with that.
Okay, so I'm going to make the motion. We take no action on this today, and which would allow Mr. Brown to do a little more research and get more accurate numbers for us.
Second that motion.
All right, the motion from Leon, take no action. Second from Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Boo is back. That is unanimous. Thank you, Brother Rick.
All right, thank you.
All right. Harold, where's Harold? There he is. Okay.
7 pages.
I mean to tell you, consider and approve awarding bid number 20-11 for asphalt overlay Bridge 3.
Say Commissioner Reeves is back.
He is, yes, he's here.
All right, we went on, this is his second set of overlay projects. This was for 6 different county roads. We received 5 bids. I'll give you the total of each one. All 6 roads total. Washburn paving, $647,565. Cowboy asphalt was $619,362. Angel Brothers was $562,200. Smith and Company was $537,955.78. And Hayden Paving was $515,640. Hayden Paving for they have about 70 employees, size that offices in Antonio. And I reached out to 3 of the references, and one got back, 2 of them got back. City of Tomball, City of LaPorte. They did overlay jobs for them. They're real happy with them. I think Commissioner Reeves said he talked to someone maybe in Harris County or another county, and he was satisfied with it too. If you decide to approve this, approve it contingent on receiving the performance bond and the payment bond, which usually is no big deal. Okay. We're not doing work until we receive this.
Make a motion to approve it, Hayden Paving for $515,640.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Bruce to approve Hayden paving. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 21. Harold, it's consider and approve the solicitation of bids for galvanized culverts.
Okay, y'all already awarded bids for polyethylene culverts, corrugated culverts, which y'all use mostly
Hey, Harold.
during the year. We have
Harold, would you come up to the podium for me? I can't hardly hear you.
Harold, would you come up to the podium for me? I can't hardly hear you.
Harold, would you come up to the podium for me? I can't hardly hear you.
Premature meeting, premature.
Okay, we awarded bids for ethylene culverts already. We have purchased some galvanized, we probably will not, but I want y'all to go ahead and approve this. If it looks like you're getting close to 50, I want to go ahead and bid them out. If we're not, I probably won't for this year.
Some galvanized culverts anyway.
Yeah, precinct 4 and I think maybe 2.
We don't.
This is,
No precinct.
these are culverts that are used in, our large drain ditches. They're not driveway culverts.
I wouldn't hurt to bid them out anyway, in case somebody needed to use them.
Right, yeah, well, just in case.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Got a motion, Bruce, second, Greg, all, to approve, all in favor, say aye. There we go. Likewise, nays, and motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Ooh, last one. Number 22, consider and approve request for district attorney and county attorney and the constables precinct 3, 4, 5, and 6 to pay hazardous duty pay to employees in their offices. And my question is, who's paying the bill?
Like, it's mine comes out of the remainder that I have in the budget.
You had some left over in salaries.
And salaries and capital here and there.
Yeah.
What we've been able to put it together.
Okay.
The same would come for ours and anything we had left over, certainly. I mean, it's not ours anyway. It's the county's money, the county can use it for any other departments, didn't have that money.
Yeah.
I understand the money questions, the question you guys are gonna ask, but you knew that question was gonna come up when you gave it to the sheriff's office.
Right.
And other departments that didn't have extra money.
So the other departments that don't have extra money would be the constables departments.
Constables, clerks, treasurer, I mean, I assume, well, I don't know. That's a Dwayne question, but I assume that any departments don't have extra monies from salaries in their budgets.
Right, but if you don't have a large number of employees, you surely won't have a large surplus, considering that you probably don't have a large turnover.
Sure. Yeah. And you know, the larger department is too, you're somewhat sometimes able to absorb turnover and not have to fill positions immediately because you have other people, many more people that can pitch in for a short amount of time. With the small departments, it's quite difficult for that because they don't have a lot of folks that can pitch in. I don't know, you know, the question of where the money comes from, that's really a question that we're asking you guys to answer.
Wayne's still there?
Wayne's still there.
Unmute yourself, Dwayne. There he goes. Dwayne?
Wayne's still there? I think you left.
Another question is, so the way I understand it, a month ago when it was approved, it's from that point.
Yes, only moving forward.
We don't know how long that,
Yeah.
I mean, what if this goes on for a long time?
Of course, yeah, I mean, we've only had this year's budget that we're working with, so we're talking about a month here.
Right.
But yes.
Well, if those same positions though were left in the budget and unfilled, that same money would still be there.
Yes.
Unused or something like this.
Can I just say, I would really like my guys to be included in this. We never closed, ever. We were here through the whole thing, and they've been dealing with the public through the whole thing, and they came down with coronavirus through the whole thing. We've had, several people in my office, test positive for it, and we stayed up and worked through it all. And I have the money,
and records management that I can pay them, but you guys just need to approve putting them in the, I think they've definitely done their hazard part. And we did a whole bunch of it before we got the glass, before we got masks, before we got, we worked through the whole thing. We never shut down, except when the rat smell got really, really bad. But we were open. We've been available to the public throughout, including people from other counties too. We've had to deal with, so.
Precinct 1 constable needs to be added to that constable list as well.
I'm here now, Judge.
Say again, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm here. If you had any questions. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
All right, I'm here. I had little computer problems.
Okay. Well, now we've got Constable 1 added to it and also County Clerk added to it.
Can you transfer salary money from the DA's office to other departments?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I'm not going to be able to probably do it in the next week with this hurricane coming, but yeah, I mean, if y'all, like I said earlier, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I mean, I can look at it as soon as we get back online after tomorrow and see what we can do. Y'all can give some direction on what y'all want to do, and I can see, how y'all want to proceed with this. But of course, one thing I've always been against is moving money in the salary lines. But, since we've already done that, the cows are already out of the pen, so to speak. So, sure, I can look and see what we can do for these other departments as soon as we get back online.
How did we already do it?
That was the department.
We've got, we got things we've got to do. We got things like I've been telling you guys about the health insurance. I got to cover $1 million worth of health insurance, but I can look and make an estimate and see what we can do for these other departments. We can start, if Logan's elected official, if he agrees to move money out of his budget, after his people are taken care of, that can be done. If these other departments want to shift money around, it'll put a burden on our office, but we can do it. Like I say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And, but soon, I imagine we're going to lose electricity for 4 or 5 days, but as soon as we get back, I can dang sure start working on it. And if y'all want to call a special meeting at that time, when I give y'all some numbers, I can tell y'all what we can do.
Wayne,
I would imagine
it's simple.
every department in the whole county.
Yeah, I can definitely look at it, but as far as me being able to tell y'all something in a couple of days, I can't, but I can give y'all some numbers if y'all want to call a special meeting. I can get with Logan and people that's got excess money in their salary budgets and look at it and see what we can do. If that's y'all's wish. But I would like for this to be a one-time thing, because we're going to end up like a banana republic if we start doing this every year.
Well, I don't think we'll be doing this every year.
Yeah, but
it's because we're under
I agree. We've already done it, but that's just my opinion on it. But I can look at it. I will look at it as soon as the power comes back on. But
Matthew?
Yes.
I'm going to make the motion to approve this based on what Dwayne has completed. Once we get in a position that Dwayne can look at it thoroughly.
Commissioner Wilson,
Yes.
this is David.
Yes, sir.
I have a similar situation to Lee.
David, I understand that. And what I am asking this court to do is to approve this for all of our department heads and our elected officials, that if they've got the money existing in their employee pay line item, that we approve this and allow them to do this based on what Dwayne comes up with after we get past this storm and can get back on our feet.
Okay. Would that include the ability to shift funds from other line items where there's a surplus into the payroll?
I don't think so. I don't think Dwayne would be up for that. I don't think it'd be proper to do.
All right.
Commissioner Wilson, the way I understood your motion was for that department to be able to use money they have excess in their budget. What I'm asking you to consider is that the money excess in my budget, after it covers my employees, is going to be used by any other department. I mean, because there are departments like the commons offices that aren't going to have that money. And if you say it has to come from their salary budget, they may have zero extra. So I have to imagine, again, this is a Dwayne question, but any excess from the department should be split amongst all the county employees, not just the departments that have extra money.
Right.
It probably all should have been split up in the beginning, but we're past that now.
Why don't we limit your money to the 6 constables, and then everybody else's departments will handle their own?
Y'all can do whatever you want to do.
Would that be okay?
The way I look at any money that any department head is giving, we're giving it and trusted for a particular purpose, but it's not our money. If you give us $1 million in salary, we don't use that $1 million. Whatever is left over, you guys decide to do it because it's not ours. We were just granted for that particular use. If we don't use it for that, you go back and you can do whatever you say it needs to be done with for everybody's money.
Well, it may be a simple thing to do is take everybody's, put it in one pot and divide it up equally amongst everybody.
Except you already did it.
Well, with that, the elected official, once y'all grant a budget to an elected official, you can't take that money away from them. It's against the law. The elected officials of each of their departments would have to agree to rating their salary line item budgets. But non-elected officials, y'all can take money out of there as y'all see fit. But elected official, you can't. Like if Logan wants to give money to the constables, he would have to agree to it, and they could go that way. But if Lee has money in her budget, y'all would have to get her permission to take extra money out of her budget and give it to somebody else. That's
what happens to the excess on September 3rd?
All right. I mean, I'd have to look at it and see what we could do, but I'm not going to be able to do it today. But it probably after this storm goes through, I can look and see, kind of get an idea, but of what we can do.
If I'm using money from records management to pay salaries, can I also use that to pay the hazard pay?
I really don't think you can do that, Lee. I mean,
if the commissioners approve it, I mean, it can be used for salary purposes.
I would have to look at that. I mean, yeah, that's really not. I'd have to look at it. That's getting close to the line. I'd have to do some research in that.
It'd be best to take this until we got figures from Dwayne and more clarified on the ruling, where we can get this money from.
Certainly could. You can table it and we can come up and see, I have money left over in certain parts of my budget. Logan does, perhaps Lee does. Now, there might be some special rules for some of these funds that will prohibit it.
had mentioned.
If we just kind of all agree.
You had mentioned in your budget also taking out your capital outlay and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Which we just about come to the conclusion from what Mr. Scott has said, is that can't be done.
And if that can't be done, it can't be done.
So, I mean,
But,
none of us really knows the rules of what we can do here, what we can't do until Mr. Scott.
it wouldn't hurt. I think what we're hearing from department heads is everyone would like to participate in sharing the costs and making sure that employees are covered. So it wouldn't hurt if we had a more specific plan. I'm sure we did, Commissioner's Court.
That's fine with me. I would ask that you do it quickly because they've already got the benefit of a month now of that pay that nobody else has.
Yeah. Well, I don't
It's
have,
not a slight to the sheriff's office. All he asked for is, he represented his people and now we're all trying to do the same thing.
I understand that. I want to ask one question. How many of y'all did not get your full paycheck and all this COVID? How many?
We got our full paycheck.
Darn right you did. You know why? Commissioners Court voted to give it to you, whether you worked 40 hours, whether you did not. 160 hours a month, 171, didn't matter. Now all of a sudden, do you understand how much we rely on the surplus of our budget at the end of the year to make our budget balance? Or even have a surplus left over to put toward what Dwayne's talking about on your health insurance. That's my point. I feel like I'm getting violated by this request. Although I understand the cause behind it, it's a great idea. Let's just spread the money around. But the other side of it is I got duties to the people that pay tax in this county, and I feel like I'm getting stuck.
I agree with you, but you shouldn't have done it for the sheriff's office.
I didn't do it for
I
the
agree
sheriff's
with that
office.
as well, Sheriff, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I think I can speak for all the constables in here, but our guys work just as hard as their guys do.
David,
If I
I agree.
had the budget for extra manpower, I definitely would give it to my guys.
And I agree.
But I don't have the kind of budget he has, but yet he was and nothing against the sheriff, like he said. But it was approved for him to give it, it wasn't good for his guys, should be good for the rest of us.
And I understand it. I'm not.
Even Harris County has agreed to give all their employees, and that's every employee.
did y'all folks take any time off?
No, sir.
Y'all worked
We have worked every day
Every day.
because our duty is to serve the citizens. And by taking off work, we're not serving the citizens.
We've been landing the door at that annex every day.
I just want to make a point about it.
Just like I'm supposed to do.
Your point's
And I do appreciate,
Serving the papers and going to any.
I appreciate we have a job and everything else that y'all do for us. But if it's good for his guys, it should be good for the rest of us that's carrying out and working every day.
Because we gotta remember, too, this isn't a back pay. This is a going forward from the day you approve it. This isn't rewarding someone, right, for something done in the past. It's just going forward.
If we do it, I want to see to start the day that he has started. If we can do it that way.
I don't know all those rules.
Yes.
I mean,
Good or not,
I don't know that you can.
okay. I mean, again, I
It should
don't
be.
know.
Well, I don't disagree, but the Constitution affects the property. It just says you just can't. You have to start from that on forward.
and that's why I asked if we could quickly, I know there's lots of other things going on.
Yeah.
But quickly, make a decision.
Okay.
And you know when you have the right information to make a decision.
Sure.
I don't have a problem right now of approving it, but you got the money if you want, if you give it, take care of your folks and the constables, that's specific. But, and then the rest of the department, if they've got it and they want to do it, then if the constables don't have any and you want to give them your money, I don't have a problem with it as long as it's legal.
I want to limit it to them. I want to say whatever excess we have should go wherever it's needed. That's what I'm telling Dwayne.
Well, the constables right now, if we're gonna make a decision, we gotta say something specific, not just where needed. We need to be specific, I think.
Well, I want to, I'd like for us to approve this today based on the outcome of what Dwayne finds. The reason being is because it will go into effect today, not 2 weeks from now, till the 1st of September.
What is your motion?
Make the motion that we approve this.
Approve what?
I'm sorry?
Approve
I
what?
make the motion that we approve this hazardous duty pay to those departments that are requesting it based on Dwayne's findings at a later point. That way, they're not waiting, they're not missing out on 2 weeks of hazardous duty pay, it will actually go into effect today till the end of this fiscal year.
I agree to give any excess in my salary items or any other items that can be used for this purpose to employees in our office and then every constable's office, and there's excess after that to any other department head that's requested.
I can tell you this office will not be requesting it, but those other individuals that are requesting it, I support doing it just like I supported our sheriff's department doing it.
Yeah, I'll second that, basically, you know, that way we can get it started after, Dwayne, determines, all the details of it.
Where the funds can be taken out of and the legality of basically whether we can do this or not.
So does the motion have the amount in it? I mean, should limit and say, you know, at the same pay rate as previously approved for the sheriff's department or for white individuals or something like that? You know, for unit of time or whatever.
I think that would be, it's the same rate the sheriff's department had for,
Law enforcement.
law enforcement.
Which is $7 an hour for law enforcement, $3 an hour for the other employees.
Whatever it comes out, if it comes out. If it comes, whatever comes out and you've got the money, if you got that much money to take care of it.
I think we should note too that the elected officials don't get any extra pay. I think it's good for the.
Well, I think we can do that anyway.
We can, we're not asking for a lot, but I want to be clear. We're not asking for our saleswoman, we're asking for our employees.
Yeah, I know you're interested just like we are to take care of our people.
I still get my $2.28 an hour. No matter what. Yeah.
I made a motion.
Okay, Leon, can I just restate it, because there's been a lot of talking since you made your motion?
Ma'am?
Can I restate your motion just so we know exactly what we're voting on? This is what I, the motion you.
I make a motion that any department head and or elected official be able to pay their employees hazardous duty pay, which will become effective today, based on what Dwayne will be able to get to once we get past this hurricane, this weather. That way, it goes into effect today, not 2 weeks from now, to the end of this fiscal year.
Are you adding at the same rate as the sheriff's hazard pay?
I'm sorry?
Are you adding at the same rate as the sheriff's hazard pay?
What'd she say, Jay?
The same rate as the sheriff's department.
Same rate as the sheriff's department.
And it's breaking up. It's breaking up real bad. Can I call you?
84 now.
Can you hear me, Jay?
Hey, look at me.
It's breaking up real bad.
Hey.
I'm fixing to call it.
8 and 4. Okay. First word, second syllable.
Well, I think we might need to wait for him to call back in. Well, now Boo's on, but.
Well, I just want to verify that his
But that
motion does
motion
include that rate.
Then do you need a motion to allow us to transfer money to other departments?
Well, see, I know that's the problem is, I mean, so you got one rule that says you can't backdate pay.
Hey,
Look.
I can't hear you. It's breaking up.
Let me get it. And now try.
Now try.
Turn off your audio, Leon, on your computer.
We'll probably go to the next.
No, he needs to be on, like, mute us. He
Yeah,
needs to mute
get
us.
your computer, Leo.
There you go.
There you go.
Woo, hallelujah. All right. Okay. You made a motion earlier. We didn't understand the motion. That's why we didn't call for a second.
Okay, I'm making the motion again that we approve this today based on Dwayne's findings at a later date, but it is approved today instead of 2 weeks from now. That way it becomes effective today instead of 2 weeks, and those employees are missing out on 2 weeks of back hazardous play.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
You're making a motion that we approve the agenda item that covers transferring the money from the DAs to the constables.
Jay?
You hear me now? You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions about it? I mean, you understand the motion?
Yeah, if he's not doing just the motion on the agenda item, we're adding Constable 1, we're adding other departments that make the request. The question was the same rate as the sheriff's department. I haven't heard anyone say that that's part of the motion.
Okay, the same rate as the sheriff's.
Department, $4. That was $8 for boots on the ground, certain police officers, and $4 for clerks.
Well, I think that would be based on each individual department head and elected official. They may not want to give that type of money to each individual. It could be less, but I believe that should be left up to each department head and elected official.
Now, not even looking at the.
That's what this
If you
thing.
do that, somebody could give one
Yeah,
employee
I mean-
$20,000. I'm not saying that would happen.
Ought to be a blank.
Logan, I don't see that happening. I'm talking about setting that hourly salary equally with everyone, not $20,000 to one employee.
I understand, but you're not setting, that's the point I'm making. If you're leaving it up to the department head, and they set it however they want to. Which is something I know you guys do not want to do forever.
Well, basically, you take a clerk, pay them $4, and take your chief deputy, pay them $8. That's the nemesis here, and it creates an accounting nightmare over in the auditor's department and in the county treasurer's department. And time is of the essence. But anyway.
Can we say not to exceed the rate set by the sheriff's department? Depending on how much you have in your budget.
Yep, I think we
The
can.
point I'm making is that your department head or your elected official may have some funds remaining, and they might not be able to pay someone or the employees throughout the department $8 an hour. They may be able to pay them $3 an hour.
Item on the agenda, I mean, we're completely just throwing the agenda item away. This specifies who this, and now we're.
Can we just add on anybody we want to on the agenda?
I mean, it was
So we're
specified
supposed to be
here.
considering the agenda item.
I think that's probably too far.
We're thinking what?
I think adding everybody's beyond the scope. They declared a disaster for Liberty County, which puts a 7-day clock before Commissioners Court has to reconsider it. So that starts next Monday. We know we're gonna have a meeting on Monday. How about do our best to, despite the storm, put together a very succinct agenda item, or comprehensive agenda item that explains exactly what's going on here, what each departments are doing. That way we don't violate the open meeting. That makes sense, perhaps financially. And Dwayne, maybe we can just get with you and, be chatting in the meantime to see what the budgetary implications for this is as well, where we can pull it. And to adjust accordingly if necessary.
Good. All right, I got some kind of a motion. And some kind of a second.
Leon, if we,
Leon would have to pull his, we didn't get a second, and then somebody have to move the table until.
let's make,
You don't get a second.
let's make a motion to approve. I'll make a motion now to approve the agenda item with, do we have on there? With the addition to add on the department heads of each department, if, with access money, can give their employees the additional money up to what they've got in excess salaries, but not exceeding the sheriff's department.
That ensures it stays in salary. I mean, it doesn't go outside.
Yeah, if they don't have the money to give them the $4, they can give them $3.
Exactly. And I would like for it to be effective today.
Effective, okay, yes, okay.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second.
Settle down over there, Jay.
One other thing, do you want to include precinct 1?
Yes,
Well-
it's not on there either.
It's
Not on there.
Okay.
This is for everybody.
I just asked for my department.
Yeah.
They asked for their departments. I'm telling you that if I have extra money, it's everybody.
Okay.
We might have I agree, look, please, I'm not trying to cut anybody out, but I'm concerned about the Open Meetings Act here as well. If it's not on that agenda item, it's beyond the scope of your action today.
We cannot.
Let's let Dwayne go ascertain whether yes or no. We're gonna come back in. We had the declaration yesterday for disaster. We've got to come back within 6 days. We'll set this, 7 days.
Yeah.
We always do it on the 6th day.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, just.
Just more rest on the 7th. Okay. Anyway, let's see if we can have this gathering and this discussion in 7 days, 6 days, 7 days, and we'll get the notice posted to proceed.
I think you got a motion.
You got a motion in a second, yeah. Well, it was to approve everybody. It goes beyond the scope of the original.
The main thing was get
Agenda.
today's date started, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So make it effective as of today.
Correct.
Amounts to be approved at a later meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Judge,
Hey.
hey, while I can certainly appreciate what's going on here and the fact that the sheriff's department is getting the hazard pay and other departments certainly want to get on board with it, I also want to say that it's my employees in this office who will be trying to administer what's going on here today. We don't have any extra money in our budget. I don't have any extra money to pay hazard pay to my ladies who are going to administer what y'all are trying to pass today. And I'm not asking for any hazard pay, but what I am going to ask for in the upcoming budget is consideration for my ladies so that they can be compensated for the complicated administrative skills that it's going to take to make this happen.
Okay, fine.
Because what y'all are trying to do today, I understand it. I see what you're trying to do. Trying to make Tyler get on board with that is a complicated issue.
Y'all gonna be able to do that?
To pick and choose to add and subtract pay from each individual 400 employees across the board is not an easy task. We can do it and we will do it given the orders from Commissioner's Court. But what I'm telling you is it's not easy, and my ladies aren't going to get compensated any additional pay because we don't have any additional money in our budget. I'm happy to do it. We're going to do it if that's what you vote on today. But what I can tell you is that I would really like for the Commissioner's Court to take that into consideration when the new budget comes up. That's all.
I have no problem with that, Ms. Kim.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Al, were you gonna give yours extra pay?
Sir?
Were you gonna give yours extra pay?
No, we will not be requesting that.
Yeah, we won't either. So we probably have some we can help the treasurer out if wants to.
Well, we have a motion and a second before the court. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Even got boo in there. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
We adjourn.
You got it.
Second.
You got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What you stirred up?
Careful where you stay across the tracks.
Check this here, that's my thing crashed in the middle of it, I lost it looks all over, I just lost it.
Y'all be safe.
What's going on? Oh, yeah.
And we have got.
Someone said it's like on our church school.
Everybody's doing it. We're the lowest, my guys are the lowest paid.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
You know, and they've been here every day.
I think knew what the job was when they took it.
They didn't know they were supposed to run around. And all these other offices, they said everybody. They were setting up your day. Doing deeds, doing birth certificates, doing their tests, all of it. And we've been dealing with people face to face without protection. So, yeah, I mean, it's great. We maybe we're pulling people off the side of the road when you're speeding, they're still being we didn't have any protection, you know.
I don't get hesitant.
Seriously, I mean, everything.
Okay, we'll go see if I can.